Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Friday edition of Today in Sports Betting, TGIF, everybody. I'm joined as always by my partner in crime, it is Scott Reichel, taking a look here at the NBA. As we always do, we'll start with the two TV games. Scott, got the Memphis Grizzlies against the New York Knickerbockers. That is going to be your first game there on NBA TV. I know that's the Knicks they're kind of your team, right, buddy?
No, I'm
Exactly.
a Nets fan, so I
No,
don't.
you're a Nets fan, I know.
I don't like the Knicks at all. But I give them props for being competitive compared to what the preseason expectations were. Having said that, they kind of hit a wall over the last week, but they're trying. They're not scoring, but they're trying.
Still covering,
That is true.
but yeah, they've definitely gone in a little bit of the freezer there as they've won just one of their last 6 contests. However, they have covered their last 3, despite just winning one. They've covered against their arch rivals and the miracle cover on Wednesday night.
I can't say it was a miracle cover. I know that there was a big 3 by Barrett at the end, but they were actually leading a decent amount of that game. And they kind of fell apart down the stretch because Marcus Smart had a couple of threes. But
I'm gonna say you sink a 3-pointer with 1 second left. Maybe not a
it's
miracle.
not fun. It's not fun. I'm just saying that
That's
Boston.
a nice cover.
I think Boston fans knew, though, if they had money on the game, that they were pretty fortunate to be up by about 5 with about 4 minutes to go.
People betting in Boston? What now?
No, I'm saying with like 4 seconds left, people in Boston were thrilled they were even winning the game at that point because it was really a one-possession game for about 3 quarters, or it felt that way at least.
So, tell me why on earth I should back the Knicks to win this game, Scott.
I like Memphis. So I think the only way that you can really look at this from a New York perspective is saying, well, they played 3 straight road games, and they get to return to the Garden. So, you could Garden as fans now, maybe they'd provide a bit of a spark. But Memphis actually been playing some really good basketball for the last week or so. 4-game winning streak, beat Minnesota, which I'm not going to read into at all. Beat Philly on the road. I know Embiid did not play, but still, Philly's been pretty good without Embiid anyway.
No.
Beat Miami on the road by 12. That was an impressive win. Most of the offense. You score 124 points against Miami.
Yep.
That's pretty impressive. And then you played on the road against Atlanta. Pretty sure Capella did not play in that game for Atlanta, but he still scored 131. The issue that I have here is that I know the Knicks are very, very good at slowing down offenses that are talented and that actually put up points. They still can't score. And if Memphis's issue is defense, but their strength is offense, and they've scored at least 116 in their last 4 games, I just don't see how the Knicks can score enough points to win this game. You look at Memphis, so let's just assume for pace and for just defensive ability, Memphis gets held below that number and goes to around 108. You'd say that's fair? They finished like 108?
Sure, yeah.
Trust the Knicks to get to 107? I don't.
I don't. No.
I mean, if you look at the last time they've scored 107, you had the matchup against Brooklyn, which they did it, but they beat Detroit by 44, but Detroit, of course, is terrible.
Right.
Memphis is just a team that's surging right now, and I know that we've talked about in baseball how you want to back teams on streaks. The Knicks have shown me nothing. I know that they've kept it close and that they lose close games, but the spread in this one's only 1.5, so a close game's not going to cut it this time around.
Yeah, Memphis has won 5 of 6. They've covered 6 straight. I'm going to take the visitors in this one.
I have to. I mean,
I got to lay. It's 1.5, by the way. Open 1.5. It still is 1.5. Although you're starting to see some 2 creep in. Pinnacle's up a half a point. They've gone from 1.5 to 2.
I think it'll close at probably 2.5.
I think 2.5 is a good number right there. Total's 213.5, starting to creep up maybe a little bit to 214, but that's pretty much 213.5 across the board. Not a big change from either one of these numbers for the opener. I think there will be tomorrow. I'm going to grab the Grizzlies while I can and lay the 1.5.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with the Knicks, though, you're kind of required to also consider taking the under because the Knicks are just the kings of the under. But Memphis, if there's one thing this team is underratedly good at, it's rebounding. With Valanciunas in the middle, they are 10th in rebounding rate. Meanwhile, New York is 13th. However, you, of course, have a little bit of a shorthanded front court with Robinson being out indefinitely. And I know that Noel and Gibson have been kind of trying to piece it together, but Valanciunas is a little bit bigger than both of them, probably combined. So I think that Memphis should do a pretty good job on the boards. And I know that they're a good defensive team. Do you think anyone on the Knicks can actually guard Morant? I don't really think that they can, so we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Do you think anyone can? I don't. You trust Alfred Payton guarding him for 35 minutes?
Well, that is going to be the question. The Knicks have been able to figure it out so far as playing defense goes. So we'll see if that trend continues.
I just think the spread's too low, so I like Memphis.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the play. Scott, I don't know who America pissed off at NBA Network, but they're laying on the second game is going to be the Washington Wizards against the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, my favorite TV team's back on TV.
Yeah, although I gotta have to say
they gave him a couple of weeks off in between.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've visited the boys from Golden State.
It's been about 1 day because they played Milwaukee on TNT earlier this week.
They're 4.5 point favorite at home. Total on this one's 241, Scott. 241. That's high. That's a lot of points.
Is it? That's the question you got to ask, because if you go through the actual numbers here, the total should probably be higher. You're looking at both these teams. Washington ranks first in pace. Golden State ranks second in pace. Just for the record, by the way, Milwaukee ranks tied for third. Golden State just played Milwaukee with no Giannis. Game got into the 240s. So based on that and the fact that Washington plays faster and that Milwaukee actually plays some form of defense, Washington plays no form of defense. You give up 116 to the Magic. I mean, that's kind of impressive in itself. I like the over. I know it's a high total. I think it'll go up. But Beal's healthy again. We know that he's a great over player because he scores 40 points and doesn't guard anybody. Westbrook is kind of the same way. His efficiency is an issue, but he always takes Curry matchups personally. I think he'll probably put together a big stat sheet, but not guard anyone either. And if you want to talk about Curry, he'll probably go for 40. I think he's going to you, because I just don't see how anyone in Washington can actually guard him.
No, and the Washington offense has gotten a little bit better. I mean, the defense rather, but better.
When Beal's healthy, this offense is fringe. I don't know if they're top 10 because the pace definitely helps out and definitely has to do with it. Because anytime you have Westbrook, you're not going to be an efficient offense. It's just what it is because he takes so many jump shots, which is why Washington currently ranks let me just pull this up really quickly. Washington currently ranks middle of the pack, 21st in offense efficiency. But in terms of points per game, they're up there because they play so fast. So I see a lot of track meet basketball. We're going to see a lot of matador defense of just letting your guy blow by you. I see a lot of points, and I also like Golden State. Am I in love with Golden State here? No. If Beal was not playing, I would definitely like the Warriors a lot more. But you're looking at Washington on the road. This team's 8-16. And I know that Golden State at home has been very good. They're 24-27 overall, which of course is terrible. But they are 15-9 at home. So I do think that definitely matters. I know Washington did win its last game, beat Orlando. They're not exactly good at winning games consecutively. That has been kind of an issue for the team so far this season. They ended up winning 2 in a row in late March, but they've won 2 in a row once since February 27th.
It's not good.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and they're in the middle, or they're just starting out the dreaded West Coast swing.
Yeah,
they played 2 in Florida.
Not a fun time, right? You play Golden State on the road, Phoenix on the road, and then Utah on the road. That's a fun 3-game stretch with a back-to-back against Phoenix up next.
Yeah, how about Golden State and Phoenix back-to-back, and then Utah?
Yep.
And then if you're not worn out enough by all that fun, you get to go to Sacramento and run your ass off again.
Sacramento's not any good, but they play up-tempo.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so not a fun trip for the Wizards. I'm not going to say that there's going to be a no-show. I think offensively they'll play well, but defensively, I've seen some bad defensive teams in the league. Washington isn't as bad as some of them, but Washington's definitely bottom 5. I mean, if you're looking at Washington's defensive numbers, they rank 26th, which is the 5th worst in the league in defense efficiency. So this team really can't guard anybody. And if their games against the Magic end up getting into the 240s, I think this game's probably getting to the 240s, and I think Golden State wins. I feel better about the over because I do think Beal could go nuts, and you might see Westbrook put together a massive stat line, and maybe they'll pull it out. Because realistically, Golden State's issue, if Curry has an off game, they're screwed. It's just the way it is. Like, you're not going to get 35 from Wiggins. Like, it's just not going to happen. So
again,
correct. And Oubre is kind of the same way. If he gives you 20, that's considered a great night. So I'm not going to touch the side, but I'd lean Golden State. I really like the over. I think you're going to see a track meet. You?
I think you've got a market that's kind of been runs a little hot as far as these totals go. These teams have both trended under lately.
Except the last game, but yes.
Yeah, well, I'm saying that's what I'm saying. But if you go back over the trends,
yeah, I don't know how much to factor. Sorry to interrupt. I don't know how much of that I could factor in because Curry was out half the time.
I know, and Beal was out on the other side again.
I don't know if I can factor that in. But that's the problem. You have a lot of data that you can kind of throw out the window in this case.
Yeah, and that is part of the issue. But again, none of those games, the totals are reflected that they've been playing, 225, 220, 225. Those have all gone under. I'm just not I don't run as hot on that total as you do. You know what? Just for fun, I'll fade you. It's a small fade, but this could be one of those games where I'm absolutely spectacularly wrong as they, put up 275 between the two of them before it goes to overtime. But
it's a pure pace play for me. I mean, you got 1 and 2 going at it.
I get it.
I don't assume that there's going to be no defense play.
Seems too easy. Seems too easy. Something smells. Nope.
You think that there's going to be over money or under money?
I think there's going to be over money. It's Friday. It's the late game. It's on TV.
That's why I'm jumping in now. I think it'll probably close at 242.
I'm going to wait till you and the rest of your donk friends drive it to 242, 243, and then I'm just going to play the under.
Well, it's not a donk friend if I get in early. No. It's if you get in late, then you're a donk.
You're either way. You're not going to win it. So
no, but the point is, if you beat a 1.5 point line move, you can argue that the play made sense just based on principle.
Yeah, how'd that pay?
Hopefully, well, we're going to find out.
Yeah, and again.
And if you followed the total moves for the last couple of days, then some donk moves actually worked out in the NBA for the last.
Well, there's been a couple of really good steam plays in the afternoon. There's no question about that. But
we'll see how the steam.
They haven't come on games like this. No. They come on games where you went, what now?
And mostly involving the Pacers.
What's that?
It involved the Pacers, and you had the Thunder game tonight, where
right,
bunch of over money, and the game flew over by like double-digit points.
Yep, there was sharp steam plays in the middle of the afternoon on both of them, and both of them cruised over.
I feel like it's a good point to segue. How do you tell when you have sharp money versus public money? The answer is who's betting the Thunder and who's betting the Thunder and Cavaliers over.
Yeah,
it's going up 6 points. Like,
right. Yeah, look at
it's based on which games are on TV, which games are not. And if you see a game that you're not really interested in, like let's just say Minnesota and Indiana, you see a bunch of people out, if the total has gone up about 5 points. I don't think the public is sprinting to bet their stimulus checks on the over with the Pacers and Timberwolves.
Totally agree. Yep, that's absolutely true. And look for a big move.
Yep.
Look for a big move. Don't look, if it's going up a half a point every 2 hours, that's not sharp money.
Do you have any specific point where you think that the value is completely gone in those steam moves, or do you just think it's even good to be late to the party?
You know what? That game opened up tonight at 211.5. I got it at 219. I got it 219. Didn't care.
Went to 230. I went to 232.
232. Yeah.
But I'm just curious because usually I'll draw the line at around a 3-point move. If I miss the 3 points, I'm usually a little queasy.
Yeah.
I might take it.
Believe me, I was queasy about putting that kind of number out there, but
they had 76 points in the first quarter, and you were laughing.
It was such a solid move, man. It was just such a solid move on the line. So,
but yeah, anyway, I just thought it was worth mentioning because even though a lot of people like to bet the sides on TV games and everything like that, there have been some pretty sharp moves on totals for the last couple of days. So keep your eye on those.
Yep, keep an eye on. And if you want to listen to us at the time that those moves are going on, check us out on our radio show because we do that every day, Monday through Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time on 1490 WWPR out of Tampa. You can get it on your computer. If you're not in the Tampa area, just go to, use the Google. You guys know how to do that. So.
I'm trying to think of what moves even lost yesterday. It seemed like the moves did pretty well. I mean, the Detroit game didn't because, of course, Grant was out and they won anyway. Game also went under, which there was money on, but money poured in on Dallas. They went from 1 to 3. They won handily. Cleveland went from about 2 to 4. That was my play of the day. They won.
Yeah.
Chicago took a ton of money. They won easily. Really, and even the Clippers game got a ton of under money.
Bad day for the books, buddy.
Definitely was a bad day for the books.
All right. You got anything else to get you excited?
Not really. I see that there's an opening total in Indiana and Orlando. It's at around 225, 226. This Indiana team I find intriguing because ever since everybody got injured, they're playing like they're the Sacramento Kings and they give up 130 points per game. It's really amazing how just a couple of key contributors get injured, all the bench players come in, and you'd assume that the team got worse offensively. No, they're just playing at hyper speed for some reason. I'm really not sure why.
Yeah, this is
I didn't say I'm going to touch it. That's one game that I'm monitoring from a total perspective, which I'm going to look for a steam move. But if I get it, I'm going to bet it.
Sabonis and Brogdon are both questionable.
Yeah, they've been questionable for the last couple of games. But
Yeah, I know. It's that time of year, buddy.
Yep.
All right, so there you go. That's going to do it for us. As always, we hope you guys have a great Friday. We really do. Hope every one of your plays comes through. Hope every single ticket in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Winers, we appreciate you guys watching, not just today, but throughout the week. And we appreciate you guys doing what you do. We're doing what you do by checking us out. And please give us the thumbs up. Give us a subscribe if you haven't done so already. For myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at winnersandwiners.com. Once again, thanks to each and every one of you. Good luck, and we'll see you right around the corner as we do our part 2, as we do the baseball plays. All right, you guys take care. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.